I'm trying to work, and everywhere I go, everything I do, wherever I sit, who's there? Look at me, Mrs. Sugar. Say, I don't care what you're doing. It's the afternoon. It's the time to love me. Don't do nothing else, just love me. Is that right? What's up, guys? How you doing on this Friday afternoon? Hope you're doing well. If you hear some loud bangs, which you'll probably hear in a minute, it's the village idiot throwing firecrackers at no birds in the field. There's not a bird in the sky that I can see. Well, there's one inside the shade garden sitting on a nest. But there's, you know, they throw firecrackers to keep the birds off the rice field when it's small. And the village idiot is sitting over there not last night, the night before, Wednesday night. It gets dark about 6. 8:30 at night, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, dude, it's dark. Birds are in the tree sleeping at this time of night. Anybody who knows anything about birds, they eat in the first thing in the morning and they eat at dusk. I watch my birds, that's how I learn. You can feed them and they won't eat, but about 20 minutes before dark, they're all on the food. That's the time to throw the firecrackers, if you have to throw them at all. This guy over here, he don't throw them anymore. That guy over there does a little bit, but this lunatic across the road, the village idiot, like every 15 minutes. You want a nap in the afternoon? Nope, cannot. Anyway, on a brighter note, what have I been doing? I fixing my old strimmer. I didn't think I could fix it, but I did. Let me show you. My assistant's had her dinner. I had to put the ant powder all over the place. I'm sitting on this chair trying to work, and brown ants all over my legs. So the other week I showed you my new strimmer, and all this stuff came with it, and I'm like, what is all that? So what they give you is like a body harness to hold the strimmer up. So I modified it. I cut all that off and made one like this out of this. This is from the old one, and this is all the new stuff. And I just put a couple bolts through the webbing, and I got a strap like this one came with for my new one. So, and the old one's still on there, so that works. So I got all this stuff here spare. I'll keep it because maybe I'll use the webbing for something in the future. So this all fell apart. This is this silicone here, and the reason that's there only is because I had to rewire this because the switch broke. So I put a new switch on, as you can see here, but the wires, they're not bare, but their wires just ran through. So when your hand's wet and sweaty and you go get next to it, you get shocked right through the wire. So I just put the silicone back over them so you don't get shocked. This broke off, so I put some epoxy resin on it so it's fixed again. And with the battery drill, well, battery grinder I showed you the other day, I sharpened that up because every time Mr. Monk uses it, he bangs all the rocks. Look at this, what he did last time. This is in one go. Look at the angle of it. It's supposed to be square. He's coming back in a couple of days whenever Jan calls him, and to do down by the river again. So if you remember the last time this stopped working, it wouldn't work at all. But all I did is I got a new spark plug and changed it, and it worked. Put it in, put a little bit of gas in, started straight up. I think I still have to put it. John told me about a shop. See, it's leaking a little bit of gas, or a lot of gas. But there's like a little grommet in the bottom of that carburetor. I think the idea is to let water out, but it's leaking, so gas is leaking out. So I can't find the grommet myself. But where we bought the new Honda one, I showed you that the other week. They have a workshop in the back, so I think I'm going to take it to them, because I think also it's running a little bit rich. You see, so they can play with the carburetor and put a new grommet in the fuel bowl. So I was going to let it just go dry, and put some silicone on it just to stop it from leaking. I might still do that. But when I took the, I told you before I was using it and it just stalled out and acted really funny, I thought, that's an unusual noise. So anyway, I put a new spark plug in and it worked, but the old one's really carboned up. So I put less oil in the mixture this time. So even though what I was doing was the right mixture, it's still carboned up a lot. So I threw the spark plug away. I'll buy another spare one for it. So it's running now. The blade's sharp. I got a strap for the new one and the old one now. The other strap I couldn't figure out. It's like, dude, somebody's into bondage. So I cut it apart and made the exact same shape as the old strimmer, which is nice. So I got 2-stroke oil and gas, petrol, and the 4-stroke Honda one, just gas. So if he comes tomorrow, I'll let him do by the river and he can wreck the old one, and I'll stay up here with the new one. Actually, to be honest with you, it's probably easier to do the river because it's more or less flat down there. But I'd rather do up here because nobody's going to cut my stuff that I'm growing in the garden. So anyway, everything's done. It's working again, and I'm very pleased.
Help.
Yep.
I have this for you.
Let me see.
Get this from the market.
Wow, this looks nice.
Jackfruit with the sticky rice. And
you know something? When you told me about that last week's jackfruit and sticky rice, I like sticky rice and I like jackfruit, but never had them together.
Yeah.
And since I had it, really tasty.
Yeah. This is a type of Thai custard, okay?
Custard?
Yeah, this one
Custard,
pumpkin custard. This like a, the bean something that you like.
Yeah,
the
bean.
One. Yeah. So this I'm pretty sure you have this before. You will be see outside, right?
For a little bit.
Okay, so take your time and I will take this into the house when you're ready. We have this.
Thank you very much.
With tea.
Tea? Oh, of
Okay.
course.
Hot tea or cold tea?
Hot tea.
Okay, see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was I nearly lost some money. Well, and I still might, but I think I might have an idea how to do it now. Some of you know that I lived in America for a while and I worked there for a while. I was born in London, but I worked in America for a while. And so I got a check in the mail from an American company or actually from the government. And so they sent the check here and I'm thinking, well, how do you cash it? So I looked online and it said, was it Bangkok Bank will cash it. So I went to Bangkok Bank and 2 different branches and got 2 different stories. Basically that nobody knows what to do with it, but even though the internet says Bangkok Bank will do it. So then, what was the other bank? Citibank. And there's a Citibank corporate in, not corporate, what is it called? Yeah, like a corporate bank. So not for personal accounts, I guess. So called the Citibank in Bangkok and said, would you cash it? And they said, nope, can't do that. Never heard of it before. So, okay. So looked on the website, internet, looked at the American Embassy website, and they said, you don't cash checks. I'm like, okay. So I'm stuck. My bank won't cash it. The 2 banks that are supposed to cash it won't. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So then I looked online again, and my bank in the UK says they'll cash it. But, so I called my bank manager, and luckily, here's a funny story. I think I told you this before. I had a nickname from some of the bank staff called Batman, because at that time, when I was teaching, across the street from where I was teaching in the green clothes, there was a small branch of Lloyd's Bank. And I got to know the people in there well, and the reason they got the nickname of Batman was because they had a bat in there one day, and they were not sure how to get it out. So I had my warrant officer hat on. So I put it in my hat and took it outside and put it on a tree, and so from that day I got the nickname Batman. So one of the ladies that still worked us at the bank today, only part-time, she went up from the girl on the till to the manager. Well, she stepped down from manager because she got married and has children. So now she works part-time as assistant manager or something, but she remembers me. So what they said is you're supposed to walk into the bank with the check, fill out this massive form, and it takes about a week to 10 days to cash it. So I contact my bank and I said to her, can you send me the forms? And she said, sure, even though you're supposed to walk in. So they said, sure, we'll send you the forms. Well, she said the bank takes 2 weeks to process the mail. 2 weeks, 14 days for them to put it into the system, and it pops out and goes into the mailing system. Well, that was on the 7th of the last month, right? So if 14 days plus another week to 10 days, that's the end of the month. Agree? Well, it's now the 15th of June. It's still not here. So she said you might not get it because Lloyd's Bank might not send it to Thailand. I thought, that's good. Well, how do I get the form? Well, this time, I also asked a friend who's a little bit younger than me, but green clothes friend. I said, can you go to the bank and ask for this form? So he said, yeah, sure, I'll ask my wife to get it. Well, there's the banging. So, and every time it scares Sugar. So, so he said, yeah, I'll ask my wife to get it. So I explained it all to him, what I needed, and he said, no problem. But, you know, the UK banks close at 3 o'clock. So on her way to work, it's already closed. So he doesn't work, but he didn't go get it for me. So what can I say? Nothing. So luckily, my my mom can't walk very well, but they found a Lloyd's Bank near a shopping center. They can drive up to it close, because there's a Lloyd's in Lincoln, but it's sorry, I thought I had a spider on me. It's in the pedestrian area, so you can't drive up close to it. Anyway, she found this other bank and she got the form. She says she's going to post it today, so that'll be 2 weeks from today, and that will be a total of over 2 months I've been waiting for this form. Cool, huh? So when I get the form, I can fill it out, send the check to my bank in England in the mail, so that'll be another 2 weeks, and then they said it's a week to 10 days to get it cashed. So all in all, I'll be almost 4 months, by the time, coming up to 4 months to sort this problem out. So I thought I'll try to get open a bank account in the US, but I don't have anybody over there. All my relatives are gone. Nobody to ask in the US. So I thought maybe I can, they have those like mailing address people where it's like if you're traveling, you can say, this is my address. You pay them a little bit of money to use their address. But I don't know what else to do. So I'm asking, what can I do? I want to set up a bank. So, because at the end of this year, I'm going to get I'll get a small Social Security check. But what am I going to do with a Social Security check when I can't cash it? So I think I have to open a bank account. If you have any ideas, I'd appreciate it. On that note, I'll close off and say good night. Look after yourselves. Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. All the very best, guys.